guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing something that I'm very excited for that I hope is going to become like a new series on my channel, and it is called Read or Recycle. My sister came up with the name of this and I'm very excited about it. So this is basically going to be a bookshelf ultimatum video. The woman who did it is, let me see. The woman who I think originally did this bookshelf ultimatum thing was Beth Morvan. I think she's the one who I think that she's the one that made the bookshelf ultimatum videos popular. If I'm not mistaken, if someone else did, I'm so sorry, but she is the one that I see everyone kind of like referencing when they do these types of videos. I wanted to do my own, and I wanted to put my own little spin on the title, so I'm calling it Read or Recycle. And like I said, I hope that this is going to become a series on my channel. Now, I don't have as many books on my physical TBR that she does. I think she has like 700 or something. I have 75, and that's including like the series that I have that I'm in the middle of or haven't started yet, that I haven't read, haven't read or haven't finished yet. I just did like the first title of the book in it or the name of the series just so that I could not have like a bunch and then accidentally pick like a number where it's like the fourth book but I haven't even read like the first one yet. So I do have a lot, I think more. I probably have somewhere around 100, I think is what I remember bringing to school when I packed all my books up here, and all my books are back here, as you guys can see, on these 3 shelves. And there's also some on the floor because my romance books, like regular romance, didn't fit on these shelves, but I'm gonna try and like reconfigure them. Or I also have a bookshelf that I can build, but this is for the most part all of my books that I haven't read yet. So I have this jar here, which is actually a very large jar with numbers in it. So it's just basically a bunch of, for example, this says number 14, and then I have a spreadsheet with all of the titles of all the books that I haven't read yet, and I'm basically going to be picking out numbers from the jar, and then I'm going to be picking out one number from the jar, and then I'm going to be reading the book that it corresponds to, and basically just reading that book and seeing if I like it or if I want to get rid of it, hence the read or recycle, because I'm not just going to be throwing it away. I'm going to recycle it, give it to someone else that I think would really enjoy it more than obviously I did. And I really want to do this because I've had so many books on my physical TBR for literally years. Some of these books, when I was going through to put them on the list, I've had them for probably 3 years now, which is kind of insane. So I'm such a mood reader that I haven't wanted to pick them up. So I'm going to be trying to read them, enjoy them, and review them for you guys and let you know if I want to keep them. Anyway, so let's just pick out the book that we're going to be reading. Just going to shuffle it a little bit. Okay, this is what I picked out. We got 37. So let's, oops. 37. So let's consult the spreadsheet and see what number 37 is. Oops. It is The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley. So I have actually tried to read this book multiple times now. It's kind of like a literary fiction book. I don't think I've just been, I just think that I haven't really been like in the mood for it. So I'm definitely gonna be obviously reading it in this video because I have to, but hopefully I will enjoy it and it's not just one of the books that I've never been in the mood for because it's not good, like, to me. But I'm excited. Let me go grab it. Here's The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley. Like I said, I've tried to read this a few different times. It's pretty short. It's only 270 something pages, I believe. Yeah, 273 pages, which is like nothing. This is a book that's based off of the premise of like, if you could have dinner with 5 people dead or alive, who would it be? And it is Sabrina, who is our main character, her list of the dinner that she would have with 5 people dead or alive. I think it ends up being like her favorite ex-boyfriend, one of her favorite professors, her best friend, her dad, and Audrey Hepburn, I think. Interesting. So I think that it's just a story about life and love and relationships, connections. It is women's fiction, so that is what it's about. It is very short, and I'm just gonna get started on reading this for the first ever installment of Read or Recycle. My balcony backs up to the parking lot, and there's always so many people walking by, so I feel kind of awkward right now, but it's okay. I'm just gonna try and like get over this fear, because it's so nice to like sit out here and read, and obviously like I read for you guys, so I want to like be able to sit out here and read and like also film it, because it's also like pretty out here. I don't know, I like it. Anyway, I'm technically on chapter 12 or so, or like 20 or something, but I'm on 9:48 p.m., which is right before chapter 13, right after chapter 12. The timestamps are like when they're at dinner, and the chapters are like then chapters like during their life or whatever. I'm on page 128, which is like not very close to halfway done, but pretty close, I'd say, because this book is like 270 pages, so halfway would be like 135, I think. So I'm really close to halfway done, and so far I'm really liking it. I think that the problem that I was having with this book before was that there was so many things I feel like going on that I really needed to like focus on it, and I'm liking this book so far. I think that the problem that I've been having with it most of the time is like I really have to like think about it because there's a lot going on, but it's mostly just about Sabrina and people moving on before she's like ready for people to move on, and kind of this book about like her life and her relationships. And the dinners, you get more talk about like her and her dad, and like her relationship with her dad, and like her relationship with her best friend, like how that changed after she had gotten married and stuff. And then you get the information about her and her ex-boyfriend Tobias in the kind of like then chapters, and it's just kind of like a story about their relationship and their romance and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't know why it's taken me so long to kind of like get into this book. It is very much like I feel like I'm being told a story instead of being like immersed in it, but I think that that's like the purpose of this, whereas like some books, I feel like some authors like write books and the purpose of them is not to be telling a story, it's to be like immersed in it, and then I don't get that. But I think that the point of this book is to be like being told a story, basically. And I am getting that, and I am enjoying it. I don't know, I think that I don't really have a lot to say right now. I think that like a pretty big thing just happened in like her relationship with Tobias, where like I don't understand how they got to the point of like where they are, and I feel like obviously like I have a little over half of the book left, so there's obviously going to be more about their relationship, but I don't know what it's going to be. It could be good, it could be bad, I don't know. Obviously they're not together during this dinner, but she's so happy where she is with him right now that I'm just excited to see kind of like what the change is, I think. So I'm gonna read some more. I definitely think that this book is supposed to be about Sabrina as an adult not really knowing what to do by herself and alone, because she was so content with like all these people that she had in her life, and then they kind of just, like I said, all moved on without her, like without her permission, basically, and she's really upset about it, and she hasn't like coped with that she doesn't really know what she's supposed to be doing right at this point in her life, but she thinks that everyone else around her does. And I think it's something that is really beautiful, because a lot of people, I think, struggle. I think a lot of people tend to like struggle with that, where they feel like everyone knows what they're doing and life's moving so fast, and like sometimes your life can feel really like stagnant where you are. And I don't know, I feel like this book is a very good description of someone who can't really cope with that very well. And I don't know, I think that this is a good book for someone if that's what they're looking for. I mean, obviously I haven't finished it yet, but I think that it's also very poetically written, and I like that. I think that, I don't know, I just need to read and see what happens. I'm sitting here telling you guys that this is like a cutesy book about like life and relationships, and I am just the whole time just expecting like them to kind of realize like what went wrong, and I think I've just come across a plot point that I was not expecting. I was not expecting a plot twist in this book. The plot twist makes so much sense as to why she's describing the feeling of seeing him the way that she is, because I was just so confused as to why she was describing it that way, because it just felt like kind of odd, but it makes a lot of sense now. And I don't know, I'm just like, where are my slippers? It's just very interesting. This book is I was not expecting that at all. I was really not expecting a plot twist. I have like 40 pages left in this book, and I'm kind of realizing that I think that this book is a lot about her kind of her relationship with Tobias is so much like she's not happy. Like their relationship is quite toxic, I would say, and I feel like it's hard to say that because it doesn't look like it's like a toxic relationship, but it's not good for her. And I think that she is so caught up in the fact that she thinks that they were so fated to be together that she feels like genuinely this is something that like she wants, and that she is like in love with him and she can make it work. And I just think that this whole book is kind of her realizing that maybe that's not like what she wanted. I think that this whole book is just kind of about her, and I'm hoping that maybe at the end of this she realizes, obviously this book is about her, but I'm just saying like I hope that this whole book has led up to her realizing that their relationship wasn't perfect, and like she should want more, and like she should want someone that like is gonna like try harder, I guess, to be with her. And I think that the chapters of them at dinner I've realized I thought like didn't really have a purpose. Like obviously they have a purpose, that's the whole point of the book, but I was like I don't understand why she's at this dinner, but I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more why she's at dinner and like why she's at the dinner with these specific people and like kind of like what they have to offer to her as far as like her growth and her realization, hopefully. But like I said, I have like 40 pages left. I'm probably gonna finish it right now, and will let you know what I think. I'm hoping that it goes the way that I want it to, but I will let you know my thoughts when I'm done. I'm just gonna knock this out. It's going to be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to finish, and we'll see how I like this book. So far, I think it's good. I definitely think that once you get past like the halfway point, it gets more in depth and you kind of understand more of the story. I think my other problem a lot with this book too is I didn't really understand what this story was supposed to be about. I didn't get like the wrong idea about it, but like I said, I didn't really know like what the story was supposed to be, but I think that I figured it out, and I think that I will hopefully I've gotten the premise of the story right. I think that the back of the book kind of doesn't really talk a lot about like the back of the book definitely like talks about what it's about. I think it just gives like a vague description of it, so I wasn't really entirely sure like what this book was going to be dealing with, like what was going to go on in this book. Like I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think it's just a book about this woman's life and her first love and like this man that she loves so deeply that she thinks is like her soulmate, but you're kind of reading it and you're like, I don't know if this guy is your soulmate. Like I just think that you guys are so different and you have such different lives and you are like at different points in your lives. Like I don't know, it's very interesting. Like I said, I'm gonna finish it and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, I just read like 2 more pages and I have a quote, and this quote might be a spoiler, so I'll put the time that you can skip over this quote to not get the spoiler, but I really want to say the quote because I think it's really beautiful. But she's talking to Audrey Hepburn, and Audrey Hepburn says, maybe having a partner you can exist in the world with, not one you need to tuck away with, makes life a lot easier, but what's done is done. And I think that that's really beautiful because this book does talk a lot about her feeling like she has to like hide from everyone when she's with him. Like there's a lot of points in their relationship where he kind of like makes a little like comment about how like he could spend the rest of his life with just the 2 of them, or like he's happy being in their apartment, just the 2 of them, or like he's happy being away from everyone else, just the 2 of them. And I feel like she felt a lot in this relationship like she couldn't share him with the world, like she had to hide from the world when she was with him. And I think that that is like really interesting and beautiful because I think that that happens in real life. I think that there's a lot of people that get into relationships, and I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I feel like there's a lot of people that get into relationships and they feel like they have to like they have like a little relationship bubble and they can't exist outside of that bubble with their partner. Like kind of like the person doesn't fit into their real life, like their life is very much like consolidated as like this little bubble, and both or maybe just one, like their real lives don't fit with that person. And I think that that's definitely what's going on in this book. So I'm so sorry if you didn't skip and that was a spoiler, but I don't think it was like the worst spoiler ever. Anyway, like I said, I read like 5 pages, so now I'm gonna... Okay, so I just finished The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley, and I will say that I genuinely really liked this. I don't know what I want to rate it. I feel like I definitely have to kind of like think about that. I'll put the rating because I'm sure that I will figure out what I rated it. I'll just put it up here. Like by the time I edit this video, I'm sure that I will figure out what I want to rate it, but I did like it. Definitely above a 3.5, somewhere in that range. I wouldn't say it's a 5-star book just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the ending was left up in the air, and I'm not a huge fan of books where the endings are left up in the air, but I will say that I think that it's like one of those books where it's like kind of up into interpretation. Like, I think that the ending was good. I think that everyone kind of realized what they needed to realize. Our 2 main characters, I think that they both came to a good conclusion. I think that Tobias really grew during this dinner, and I think that like especially Sabrina too, obviously she had a lot of growth, but I think a lot of them did. I think Jessica, her best friend, was also a very big character in this, even though I don't know if she was supposed to be, but in my mind she's a very big character, and I feel like she definitely also had some growth. I wasn't a huge fan of her character in the end. I feel like she was kind of the like hard truth girl, where she was just kind of like saying what she felt. I think that this book definitely was about big loves and big first loves, and I think that it's interesting because obviously like there's I can't spoil it, but there's a pretty big thing that Tobias says at the very end that I think is really interesting, and it shows how much he had grown in that span of a few hours. I think it was 7:30 to midnight, so it was like 4.5 hours, which is a long time. But I think that, like I said, it definitely, like that one thing that he says to Sabrina like right before they all leave, I think that like definitely shows his growth and definitely shows that he has realized kind of like what happened with their relationship and everything. And I think that it was really interesting to see kind of like that story, and like how you get like these chapters of like he is so obviously very just him, and then kind of just not what he is at the end of the book. Like he is very much changed, and I think that it's just interesting to read. I don't really read a lot of this genre. I think that I would definitely read more books in this genre if they were like this one, because like I said, I really did like this book a lot, and I think that it was definitely a great, sorry, I'm just like such a starer when I'm thinking about things to say I'm just staring in the distance and I should be looking at you. But anyway, I think that I would definitely read a lot more books in this genre if they were like this one, because I think that this book is definitely very interesting, and I'm very interested in this book, and I was very interested in the plot. I read it really quickly. I read it in 2 days. Like I said, I had tried to read it like 2 times, I think, 2 or 3 times before this, and so I definitely like, I had gotten as far as like 100 pages, maybe like 75 pages, so I kind of didn't read them as in depth as I did the rest of the book, but it doesn't mean that I didn't like comprehend it. I definitely did, because like I said, I tried to read it like 2 or 3 times. I think that this is definitely right book, right time. Like if every single other time that I was trying to read this, it wasn't the right time for this book, and I think that if I would have gone along with that read of the book, I definitely would have not enjoyed it as much as I did reading it today and yesterday. But I think that this book was very good. I think that it was kind of what I needed right now, like just a very good book. It was a very sad book. This book did get a little bit of tears out of me, but that's okay. But it was still a very good book. It wasn't like something that really resonated with me super deeply, but I know that people probably do resonate with this book. It is a very deep and meaningful, beautifully written book about big loves, and maybe someday this book will resonate with me. I don't know, but right now it wasn't. Right now I really enjoyed the book, and I have a lot of, I understand the book and I thought it was really good, but I just didn't like resonate with it as like this was my situation. But I still thought the book was really, really good, and I really enjoyed getting like the stuff about her and Tobias and their love, and kind of you can see like you can pick out things where you think like, oh, like I wonder why she doesn't see that, or I wonder why like he doesn't realize that that's something that he did. And it's very interesting to read that as an outside perspective, because this is like some people's real life, well, not the dinner part, but her relationship with Tobias. And I think that that's really interesting because it kind of touches on the fact that people can be in these situations and not realize that that's what's going on, and just think that so blindly that this person is your soulmate and that this person is the rest of your life. And I just think that it was very beautifully written in that aspect, because I think that it said so much about those kinds of relationships, and it talked so much about like growth and realization and stuff like that. I just think it was a very good book, and it was very deep. It had a lot of it had a lot to say. It was very good. It was a very good book, and I could probably ramble on and talk about it for 10 more minutes, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna leave it there, because I feel like I'm going in circles about how much I like this book. But that was the first book that I read for the first ever Read or Recycle. I'm hoping that I can make this a series on my channel, maybe do this twice a month, once a month, something like that. I haven't worked it all out yet, but let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. I know I only read one book in this video, and this book was kind of short, and I didn't really have like that much to say about it in between. It's like I said, it is a really short book, but a longer book I'd probably have more to say and more places to say things within that book. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Please give me some feedback. Let me know if you want to see more of these videos. And yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Mwah!